billions of them. Even if a small percentage of those billions of people used your product, that's a huge number.
So I'm gonna just go straight to my bank this morning, man, and talk to myself and try to see if I can get the loan a lot faster. Because they just waiting on me to send my letter and all, man.
Well, I mean, I can't do all that stuff for you. I mean, I can only let you know what's going on our end and what our goals are with this. We share the same goals. Don't forget, we want to see this make it to market and do very, very well, just like you do. But you control the pace, not us. We can't do anything without you.
So I can tell my CPA honestly that I'm not going to be pinned in or anything for the cord being connected to the bag, is what you're saying exactly.
No, you don't have to pay for none of that. You're not going to get sued for any of that. Those are what's known in the industry now as public domain. And Misco makes their own anyway, so they can use their own.
Let me get my head out of my butt, Brian. Get up, put on me some clothes, go over to the bank right quick. I'm going to give you a call back before the day is out, big man.
I'll be here.
All right.
Not going anywhere.
All right, Mike, I do really. All right, I appreciate it.
And I'll be here.
I appreciate all the word of encouragement, man.
Well, Jamie, you got something that I think we both would agree would be a useful product for many, many, many people. So, but you're the one that did your idea. So how bad do you want to get it out there?
Oh, God.
All right. You know what you need to do.
I'm going to holler at you later today, my man.
I'll be here.
All right,
Bye,
man.
Jamie.
Fall night in 1985, an ordinary guy named Bob Pelessier's life changed forever.
You go on in the
morning, and the 56-year-old truck driver was flipping through the channels when he came across a late-night infomercial advertising an unprecedented breakthrough in telecommunications. Mildly intrigued, Bob listened as the announcer explained that something called a cellular telephone was about to change the lifestyles of millions, and that investing in this technology was the business opportunity of the century. At first, Bob was skeptical, but when he heard that AT&T predicted one day as many as 40% of all calls would come from cell phones, he slowly began to change his mind. Now, Bob had never made it past high school, and he had virtually no money to invest. But the more he learned, the more convinced he became that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity he couldn't afford to pass up. And luckily for him and his wife, he had the good sense to go ahead and get all the details, so he could decide for himself whether or not this really was the big break they'd been waiting for. Of course, you can probably guess how things turned out for Bob Pelessier and his wife, but I urge you to stick with me for just a moment longer, because this story has a unique twist that could help you secure a small fortune off the meteoric rise of mobile devices like smartphones and tablet computers. Exactly how much are we talking? Well, had you invested just $5,000 in the little-known company I'm going to tell you about today, shortly before early smartphones like the BlackBerry 6210 began to hit the market, today you'd be sitting on more than $479,000. Granted, I can't guarantee those kind of gains going forward, but I can tell you that one of the smartest investors I've ever met is convinced that right now is the perfect time to get invested in this breakout company. Over the next few minutes, you'll discover exactly why he thinks this is one of the most unique and intriguing opportunities out there for investors like you today. And you'll see why he's not the only one who thinks so. Famed money manager Gary Kaminsky calls this company a pure play on wireless growth, and notes that it's generating tremendous amounts of cash with a very shareholder-friendly focus. CNBC's Lee Brody says he likes this company because it's closely tied to an industry that's poised to explode. And Oppenheimer analyst Timothy Rand says that of the select few companies that operate in this extremely important wireless niche, this one is not only the biggest, but also the best managed. And apparently, he's not the only one who thinks so. Harvard Business Review recently named this company's longtime leader one of the top 100 best performing CEOs in the world. Nevertheless, you might be wondering if you wouldn't just be better off investing in a well-known giant like Apple or Verizon, which brings me back to my original story. As you probably guessed, Bob Pellissier and his wife Lorraine went on to retire as multimillionaires, despite the fact that he drove a big rig for the better part of 4 decades, and she worked 12 hours a day selling sandwiches out of the back of a van. And it probably comes as no surprise that dozens of other people just like Bob and Lorraine walked away with just as much, if not more. But here's something that probably will surprise you. These folks didn't invest in the companies that made cell phones like Apple, or even in the carriers that owned and operated the cellular networks like Verizon. Instead, they invested in something far less obvious, but far more valuable. You see, what they essentially ended up buying was the rights to the radio frequencies that cell phones use to make wireless phone calls. Tech types call this spectrum. In fact, Bob Pellissier owned the rights for just 2 cities, Manchester and Nashua, New Hampshire. Now, I realize that doesn't sound all that impressive, but here's the thing. Had Bob invested in a company that made cell phones, the value of his investment would have been directly tied to how many cell phones that company was able to sell. And had he invested in a specific cellular carrier, it would have been directly tied to how many subscribers that network was able to attract. But because all cell phones use the same frequencies, the value of the spectrum Bob owned increased regardless of which cell phone brands people were buying or carriers they were choosing. All that mattered was that more and more people were using cell phones all the time. In other words, it was the ultimate win-win wireless investment. And today I'm going to introduce you to an incredibly similar opportunity. Granted, this company doesn't own, license, or lease spectrum, but it does provide behind-the-scenes infrastructure that is absolutely crucial to the functioning of virtually every single cellular network, meaning its value isn't dependent on the success of any one smartphone brand or carrier. All that matters is that more and more people are using mobile devices like smartphones and tablet computers on cellular networks all the time.
Now, that is just a little briefing on what I just want to let the world know about the beautiful design that I came up with in 2004, 2005, and I submitted it to Mezco. Steve Jobs went to Mezco, looked at my designer bag, seen that my one power card not only can upload, download, mainstream, surf the web, recharge, export charge out of it. I mean, this one design that I drew out, I knew no one would ever be able to do anything like I did. All of the other companies, yes, check, I'm gonna let you see this. This cord right here, this was the cord that we had back in 2004, 2000, early beginning of 2005. You pull it apart, you can't use it no more. Then we had this one here. You see how they are labeled already? With these heads right here with the little push clamp on the side. 2005, they was able to use these cords, you know, along with the little ones that would detach from the wall with the cell port, with the head disconnector. All of those little gadgets right there, I know I have 100% to play parts in because the way I redesigned everything. I'm not going to say I'm a genius, but I would guarantee you everything that I did with those cards when my girlfriend said that she wanted to have some kind of way to charge up her cell phone while she was on the go. I did not want to see her phone run out of energy, iPod, anything. We didn't have touch phones and all that at the time. So what I did, I had to design and draw and illustrate and do blueprinting off of just one design that I designed, and that was a purse at the time. I was showing the world that you can not only charge this battery pack with my one power cord from the wall. Once you connect the head to it and plug it in a port, once the red light go off, the green light come on the battery pack, you have a full charge to where you're sending firewall through your wiring of your design back to the cell ports, phone port, iPod, everything that you would like to charge from your designer bag, purse, suitcase, and more. I have patents on it all now, thanks to God. But I was just giving a briefing on how everything was going to work. I have antennas built on the designer bag as frequency holders. Oh, man, there's nothing no one going to ever be able to do. But I thank Steve Jobs for going there, hand-picking my item, and I thank a lot more people that's out there using my products. I look at the stocks. I've been following them ever since I submitted my application to Davidson. Me and my girlfriend, we've been watching the stocks, and we look at how everybody is acting a fool behind that little change that we have on the market, tearing up the industry. I figure maybe if I step in 2013 that I can help deliver it and manage all those funds way more proper to show everyone that young black people is 100% more successful than what they would even think we are. I'm not the greatest or the best, but I hold on to things like coins from 1965, actually from 1974 on down, because I want to start my own little small history platform to show my inner city youths what's the value in money before people started playing with the currencies. I wanted to show my people how they can get out and recarve oyster shells by going straight to the factories or a restaurant where they eat them at. Bring them back to your hotel room, clean them, let them dry, clean them again, scrub them, let them dry, then laminate them. Put some laminating seal on them and go out and use it as a fundraising tool for to support your inner city youth or even an organization that you're trying to build and uplift off the ground. You don't need anyone giving you a handout. Handout is for a loser. You're going to take it and you're going to fail by the next evening. But if you can show a man that 2 times 2 can actually equal up to something, that's what he's going to always look for. He's not going to look for a handout. And I'm not saying that I'm a genius because I didn't finish high school. I didn't finish from nothing. I quit on everything in life. That's why I came back to this program that I started, d.r.b, designer bags. I really want to show the world, not only did I rechange the way that you use frequency, talking through cables, uploading, downloading, mainstreaming, surfing. I mean, anything you wanted to do with technology in one chord, I drew it out, I submitted it, and thank God that Davidson put it in action. They, submitted it to Mezco, which was a great company. I'm happy to see that they have grossed in revenue. I'm happy to see that they're making course of their own. But I do know with the help of d.r.b, we got them to where we are. But now it's time for us to take over the market. Yes, I'm going to be accepting contracts. I'm not a selfish guy. But I really believe that my name should be on all of the control of what I've started, because I don't like to see all of the competition and all of the up and down with all of the money. You don't know how to control it, stay in your house, because it's going to cause problems in the long run for you. Thank you. d.r.b 2013 takeover, Jamie Terrell Green, Tanisha L. Brown. Thank you. So, whoop.